to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. If you guys want to sing with us, we're simply singing, moving, speaking, singing, and dancing to the light. Here we go. I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. Let's do the whole thing again. I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. When I choose last time, when I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise. And what do? Shine in the light, yeah, we shine in the light. Ooh, shine in the light, shine.
Oh, how wonderful. It is wonderful to have all of you with us this morning. Welcome. Whether you are tuning in online or you are here in person, we want to recognize that you are that light, that each one of us is a part of this quantum energy, this field of infinite intelligence. That's who we are. It moves in and through and as us now. You know, Rumi said, "Don't you know yet? It is your light that lights the world." Don't you know yet? Now, this is in the 12th, 13th century. Don't you know yet? It is your light that lights the world. So if you got up this morning and thought anything less than that, I'm sure none of us did, but just in case, I just invite you to move back into your heart, to open that space, to open that knowing, and to recognize it is our light, and it is connected to every light on this planet that lights this world. Let's begin this service in prayer. Infinite Spirit, we open. We open to that larger knowing that the light of the infinite shines as us this day. We claim it. We allow it. We remove all blocks to it. And we simply say, here I am, Infinite Spirit. Here I am. And we allow that knowing to encircle our globe. Every being, every story, every life is that light. And we acknowledge the ability for that light to shine. We recognize that all of humanity is that infinite light. And we say, yes, here we are. Move through us now. For all whose names are in our prayer box, who are hurting anywhere in this community, in this country, around the globe, we hold you in that light. We know that that light sources you with all you need in this moment, in this breath. And we say yes to the love that holds us all, for this opportunity to gather, to acknowledge that presence within us, and to share it with the world. We are so blessed, and so it is. Amen. So we welcome you. I have tears in my eyes just seeing people I haven't seen in so long and recognizing and knowing that we're already connected. Whether you are online or you are here in person, we're one. We're part of humanity. We're part of this family, global family. And we have this opportunity to shine. I want to share with you just some of what's happening. Today, we will be having a congregational meeting. It says it starts at 11:15, basically immediately following this service. So as soon as we can turn it around, anyone's welcome to stay. We're going to be sharing where we are financially and then what some of the options are on the table. We have a roof to fix, and so we would like it to stay in the perfect condition it is. We're not having to replace it, but we are going to get to fix a whole portion of it. So we're moving forward with that. We also have a community outreach project that is starting. We're asking for donations. There's a flyer out in the entryway. We aren't, as you notice, we haven't even thought of bulletins or anything like that, but you can go online and it'll give you a list. But we are working with a community transitional school. That's the school for youth experiencing houselessness, Project Lemonade, Portland Community College. And part of what they want are Sharpie packs with multiple colors. They're using them for art. They want 24-count Crayola crayons, copy paper, 25-pack color paper, socks for youth and adults, hygiene products, and non-perishable foods. So we will have big bins out. We invite you to be a part of that. Starting August 1st, there's also a box out if you'd rather give money and have the team buy that. August 1st is I believe and I'll have to ask Bill, is it our 4th or 5th annual ice cream social? It's a fundraiser. It's our 5th annual ice cream social. We did not have it last year. We are having it this year. It will be out in the beautiful garden. And I want you to know, the care for the garden never stopped. This garden team has worked so diligently to provide a beautiful space, and people used it from the neighborhood and in this community throughout the last 2 years. It's wonderful. So this is their annual fundraiser. Just come enjoy some ice cream, some fun, and just simply recognize how blessed we are to be together. Our youth and family ministry is now open. They're meeting in person. For those of you who have high schoolers, middle schoolers, younger youth, we just invite you to bring them in. We will open fully in September when school starts, but we're open and ready to go. And in fact, our high schoolers are actually attending a virtual retreat this whole weekend. And I know because my daughter's one of them, and we're not allowed to make any noise or open the door. That would be a really bad thing, as I've been told, that she needs privacy. So that's good. I wanted to share with you one of the joys in our community is that our tithes have, part of our tithes go to Unity Church Nigeria. We will be sending the money, and it brings tears to my eyes, for 30 middle school age girls to go to school this year. We are paying a full year tuition. That is all from tithes of this community. So it's 10% of what's given into us. We have given some of that, and it's only actually a quarter of our tithe, but it will go to Unity Church Nigeria, to Reverend Ada Igwe. They are choosing those candidates now, and we are just blessed to be a part of reminding humanity that they are enough and infinite. So I wanted to share that with you. Our prayer chaplains, yes, we are blessed. Please know, we also facilitate much of the international work that goes on in the Unity movement, and there's another 12 scholarships that have actually already been given out that all we did was serve as a clearinghouse and help support the process. So we are blessed. Our prayer chaplains will be here to pray with you at the end of the service, so just come up front and they will pray with you. There is an offering basket in the hallway. We are going to get ready and sing, and you may wonder how we do this with masks on. It's good. So we're gonna, where we are, I am so grateful that we are in a room together. I am grateful. So we are going to sing, I'm sure you know, My Soul is Welcome Here.
Yes, and let's go ahead and stand if you feel comfortable doing so. 1, 2, 3. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I am the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
And I just invite you to look around the room and recognize, and if you're online, look around your space, think of your life, and recognize we are all divine souls of the infinite, and we are here to celebrate the journey. All right. And in just a moment, yes, we just get to look. By the way, welcome back, Liv. Everyone missed your slippers. For those of you who don't know Liv, she's taken care of our babies for, I don't even want to say how many years. And so she is back with her slippers ready to take care of the infants and toddlers. So thank you. All right, this is the time that we move into meditation. I realize that this journey right now is an interesting one. That is, what is it? The Chinese, both blessing and curse, may you live in interesting times. We hit the jackpot. We are living in interesting times. And so part of this path through, because there is, there's no way out but through. And it's realizing that as part of humanity, we're being able to expand and take away generational barriers. And part of this happens, the ability to center ourselves, to move into meditation, reminds us of the truth of our being. It connects us even if we haven't felt connected up until now. And I just invite you, as we listen to this music, to allow yourself to breathe it in and to know that presence and power.
I surrender. I allow, I surrender. I allow, I surrender. I allow, I surrender. I allow.
As we continue to relax, allowing our body to rest, we allow those words. I allow. I surrender to the one presence and one power, God, the infinite good. I breathe in the awareness that I am one with love. I don't need to understand. I don't need to see. I don't need to know the answers. I simply am one with the one, with love. I breathe this in fully. I continue to turn within. And I recognize that the I am in me, as me, this moment, has all. Here I am, infinite spirit. I am one with the one in the silence. With every breath of this day, I am willing to let go and to know that I know that divine love lives as me now, regardless of the outward appearances. God, the infinite good, lives as me, guides me, reminds me of my wholeness. And I take each step in love this day. And for that awareness, I recognize that the words, thank you, God, thank you, infinite spirit, flow through me freely. And I am grateful. And so it is. Amen.
I allow, I surrender. I allow, I surrender. I allow, I surrender. I allow, I surrender. I allow, I receive. I let go. I release. I know. I receive. I let go. I release. eyes that we cannot see. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Hands that heal can set a chained man free. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? And we believe in peace within every heart. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Burning brightly, brightly in the dark. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? So come on, darling, feel your spirits rise. Come on, children, open up your eyes. God is all around, Buddha's at the gate. Allah hears your prayers, it's not too late. We believe in things that will give us hope. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Let your voice be heard, celebrate your vote. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? So come on, darling, feel your spirits rise. Come on, children, open up your eyes. God is all around, Buddha's at the gate. Allah hears your prayers, it's not too late. We believe in things that make us all the same. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Love belongs to all in deed and name. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? And we believe in things that can't be done. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? Lift up your heart, put down your gun. Why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we? We believe in things we're told that we can't change.
Why shouldn't we?
We had heroes once, and we will again.
Why shouldn't we?
So come on, darling, feel your spirits rise. Come on, children, open up your eyes. God is all around, Buddha's at the gate. Allah hears your prayers, it's not too late. Why shouldn't we?
Why shouldn't we?
Why should we?
Why should we?
Why should we?
Why?
Why shouldn't we? Thanks.
Thank you, thank you. We are so grateful for this wonderful music and for this opportunity to look at that idea. Why shouldn't we? I believe along this journey of life, and right now we are recognizing the journey. Sometimes we can get really close and be looking at our life and our world and think, how do I get to the next day or the next moment or the next piece, or how do I put all these pieces together? Which I find for myself, I'm like, Lisa, by any chance, are you trying to control things? And of course, I have to go back to, no, of course not. I'm just going to pray. But the truth is, I'm working to say, this has to happen, and this has to happen, and then if these two things happen, then this can happen. And then we try and take that out into humanity. And I do it whether I'm working in the field of racism or we're working in climate change. It's like, well, if this could happen, if people could just do this. And we start trying to order our world. And then we get to breathe. And I don't know about you, but usually something happens. And I'm like, okay, try this again. We get to go back. We get to let go. And we get to take a larger picture of a larger view of what's happening here. Who are we? And what is ours to do this day? Because this journey and what a myriad of journeys we're experiencing right now. I don't know if any of you watched the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. I did. Anybody else in here watch that? It was not what it used to be with no fans in the stands. And yet, when he said there's 11,000 stories here, and each country walked in, I'm crying. I am absolutely crying because I'm holding a space for us to see something larger with humanity. And I thought, you know what? There may be 11,000 athletes, and every one of them has a different story. Every one of us online today and in this room has a different story. There's also probably 25,000 people who are making that event happen. And then there's another 10,000 that are coaches and families. And I thought, there's a million stories around what's happening in Tokyo right now. Every one of them is different. Every one of them, you can see some where they just absolutely come up against a wall and their whole life's dream doesn't happen in that moment. And then there's others where they just shoot further than they ever dreamed. But every one of those is a story. And the invitation is, can I love? Do I have the courage to take the next step? And will I meet what's in front of me? And we all are at that place. And there's a global community waiting for us to hold a larger story all at the same time. We're at a point where I believe we both get to celebrate humanity. And that may not have been the words you were thinking of as you went through your week this past week. A lot of it's just, can I put a foot in front of the other? Can I get through here? Can I go out a little more? Can I do this a little more? What can I do? But we also get to hold that larger picture, and I'm truly inviting us to, as the Olympics are here for a couple weeks, and many of you know, I was a competitive swimmer for all of my life up until I was 20. So, you don't have a whole lot of choice around me, and my family, my daughters were like, we don't really have to watch this, do we? And I said, you don't understand what's happening here. And the 400 freestyle, the men's 400 freestyle we got first and second, and that's always nice, and the 400 IM, that's great. The 400 freestyle, they're all swimming. It's 8 men in the finals. And I realized that they've focused on, and they know the stories of all these people over here. And then there's this guy in lane 8 from Tunisia that all they had was his name, his age, and his country. And they didn't even really mention that he was ahead for the whole race until the last half of a lap. And I was screaming and yelling, and my daughter came and she goes, what is going on? And I said, look at what's happening. And she heard it, and she goes, he's not even from our country. And I said, I know it. This is amazing. This unknown just allowed something in him to go further than he had any idea he could do. And all of us have to reassess. We have to relook at this picture of who's going to win. They had this person's going to win, this person's going to. That's what we do in life so much. But I believe we're at a place where we got to celebrate some of this journey that we're on. And celebrate it in a way that it's not just my life, but instead we look at the world around us and we recognize that my life touches this life and touches this life and touches this life. And somewhere in there is enough in me to take the next step in front of me, or the next stroke, or the next whatever's in your world, the next breath, the next movement, with courage, and to allow yourself to connect to a larger world, because you're a part of it. You're a part of it. And when our lives boil down to simply a few words, they're always, where did they love? What courage did they show? And how did they touch my life? And I just invite you to look at your life and to say what's really important right here. Because I know part of it is to recognize all of humanity has had the rug pulled out from underneath them. We're in this place of unknown, and we're going somewhere. There's a reason for everything that happens on this planet. There is a reason. You know, Ram Dass, one of his writings, and it said, be one, see one. And a woman, Storm King, she knew Ram Dass well. He was a family friend. She kind of grew up in a family that knew him. And she said, this is how he expressed it to us in a letter. And it was written in 1970. He said, we are all the family. What if we just accepted that right now? I'm not different and stuck outside and not enough. I'm the family. We are all the family. So every time we go behind the veil of differences in time and space, who do we meet? Ourselves, hanging out all over. Every time we go behind the differences. So I've talked about people that are across the globe. But what about the people in our lives that we don't like, that we don't agree with, that we will never come to terms with? That's a part of us. It's a part of who we are. It's a part of opening to something more. Then he said, souls love. That's what souls do. Egos don't, but souls do. Souls love. Become a soul, which I think we already are, but most of us have learned to build blocks to allowing the soul of who we are to express. Become a soul, look around, and you'll be amazed. All the beings around you are souls. Every one of them. They may be fighting with all of their energy to push the world away because they're afraid, but they are souls. Be one and see one. And you know, sometimes we think, I can't be one. I'm trying to be, and we try to be perfect, and we say, I'm going to love for the rest of my life. And then somebody cuts us off, and wham, that's it. And yet, the truth is, we already are one. That's who we are. Be one. Give yourself the freedom to make all the errors you need to make, to be as imperfect as you need to be, and know I'm still a soul. And then choose to see one. And pick the person that is upsetting you the most right now. And if you can't do that one, do the one that's next to you. See one. Be one, see one. And then he says, when many people have this heart connection, then we will know that we are all one. We human beings all over the planet, we will be one. One love, it's one energy. Be one, see one. And so when we look at our life right now, I want to do a metaphysical interpretation of just the woman at the well with Jesus. And I want to show you how some of the wisdom there about be one, see one is really what's in that story. You know, in John 4, and by the way, for those of you who aren't familiar with Unity, in Unity, we look at all of the wisdom texts metaphysically. That means we say, what's actually here and what's the spiritual message behind it? With the Bible, which is one of the wisdom texts on the planet, we look at what do the words actually mean in Hebrew and Aramaic, which was the spoken language of the time, and how does it relate to us? So Jesus is leaving Judea, which if you know what that means, it means that which praises God. Anybody left Judea lately? All of our thank you gods kind of got mixed up. And where he's actually going is Galilee. And Galilee means energy of life. And it means soul energy. It's like the energy of life that lives as us. So he's leaving Judea and he's going to Galilee. But to get there, he has to go through Samaria. And guess what Samaria means? It means mixed consciousness. We are looking outside and saying that's the truth and forgetting what's inside. We believe some days, not others. Where he actually goes to the well is the city of, and I may not pronounce this right, Sychar. That's how I've always known it, Sychar. That word means deeply drunken. In a consciousness that is deeply drunken in Aramaic. That's pretty much what it means. There's a few other words for it, but basically it is, in fact, depressed is one of them also. So in the city that is deeply drunk with all these mixed thoughts is where he stops and he sees the woman at the well. Now, in that time, you didn't talk to women, and especially not Samaritans. They were the untouchables. And so, of course, Jesus, which Jesus represents not the being, but the divine aspect. He was a being that allowed the Christ, the divine, to express through him. Every one of us has that living light presence, that divine within us. And our journey is to go from thank you, God, and a lot of us left that. We had that before, but then something happened and our whole world changed. And to get to the soul energy of life that knows I am the love, I am the light. And we have to go through this place to get there. So he's talking to her, and he basically said, excuse me, if you knew who I was, you'd ask me for living water. If you recognized the Christ, you would ask me for living water. Right now, every one of us goes to that well. We're going through Samaria. We get mixed. It's like, oh God, is today a good day? I don't know. Is it am I going to get through this? What happens if this doesn't? We get into a mixed consciousness. And sometimes I think we need to go back to Judea and just breathe for a while. There's one presence, there's one power. We're moving through this. And then as we move through that and we get to that well, and the woman is the feeling nature. And she finally says, you must be a prophet, because he talks about how many husbands she's had and some of the other things. And he just allows her, she realizes something larger. She's like, whoa, wait a minute. There's something here. When we get to the well, the divine in us, and we live in a quantum field that is vibrating with infinite intelligence. The divine in us is large enough. It has what it needs to say, yes, there's living water. I have everything I need in this moment to move through this day. And then to carry it with me. I don't have to control what's going on around me. All I need to do is love. To recognize the soul that is within me is divine, it is light. I take the next step and I say, Spirit, I invite in living water. And I will stand in that and I walk toward Galilee, which is the soul energy that our very being already has. And I recognize it. And I move into a city of Galilee, which means the habitation of living from that moving life energy. That's where all of humanity is going. And we've all been taken to our knees and said, have a good journey. How are you going to do this? And boy, oh boy, isn't it an interesting one? Every day, something new. How do I do this? How do I do that? Wait a minute, am I safe? Who am I? This is all the invitation of the soul for living water. So I'd invite you in your life to go back to the place that says there's living water. Stand in the unknown. The water from the well, the actual water, will quench our thirst for a time. Whatever project you've got, whatever plan you've got, whatever ideas you have, it'll quench your thirst for a while. But the living water will take you through a lifetime. And that's the way we let love out. Many of us are trying to get love in. We don't realize we're already filled with that essence. We already have the soul, the life, the love, the presence within us. What would happen if every one of us in this room and watching online left this day knowing we had the light within us and chose to not just be one, but see one? and refuse to see less. It does not mean that we do not stand in the beliefs we have. I was reading some of Gandhi's work and the life journey that he took. And he worked with the caste system in India. And he said how much he was not willing to see less than the light in that being that he disagreed with. Because it wasn't the disagreement that he was worried about. It was standing in his truth in absolute love. And I don't know about you all, but just try it when you look at the mirror in the morning. Sometimes we can have a battle with a mirror, or we can have a battle with whatever. Hafiz said, I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your own being. So Jesus saw the light in this untouchable and said, and again, when you're looking at a metaphysical interpretation of one of the wisdom texts, every person in the story is a part of yourself. And in the Hebrew culture, every city means equality, and that's all part of you. So when we look at that, Jesus saw that. We look at Buddha, where he spoke of the enlightenment available for every being. There's a Buddha in you. This light is already there. Can we allow it to move forward, to connect us? Mark Nepo wrote a book, More Together Than Alone. And he said, we can find each other. The whole life journey, he believes, is one of finding each other. Finding the light that we are, and then finding it in each other. And he said, and how we do that, and he dedicated the book to Howard Zinn, who was a historian who was able to take these pieces of history and see these large stories. And Howard Zinn said, do you know, if we can hold our vision of humanity, and he said for 27 seconds, then we already have built something more. And I thought, what is he talking about? He's talking about the Wright brothers and their ability to say, we can fly a plane, and everybody's saying, no, you can't, and they weren't the only ones. But the souls that had the courage to say, yes, it's possible, they only flew for 27 seconds, but the whole world said, wait a minute, we're gonna get in line. And it's happening around the world. That's one of the things I love about the Olympics, is that kids look at it and say, wait a minute, if they can do that, I can do that. I can guarantee you every young kid in Tunisia will know Amin's name. If they don't know it now, they'll know it within a week, and it will change their life. What happens in our life when we just simply say, I'm going to know this truth, and then I'm going to be one? And when I fall down on the floor, it doesn't mean we're not one. It doesn't mean we're not a soul. We may not know where that light is yet, but we can just simply be there and know that we are one, and that light is there. And then we can say, and I see one. And to have the determination to see one makes such a difference in our world. Because at 27 seconds, somebody else said, they saw me. They believed in me. And when they did that, I believed in me. Right now, what's happening in our Youth of Unity, and it brings tears to my eyes, is that and it's virtual, and a lot of the kids didn't want to go, but those that had the courage to go, they're seen by adults and other teens as beings of love, unconditionally, for days at a time. And again, just probably, I don't know, it was probably about 8 months ago, I had a young girl contact me, and she said, you were the first sponsor that ever saw me, and that's what YOU leaders are called, as somebody who had value and worth. And I use her a lot because up until then, no one in her family had ever graduated from high school. Her grandmother had sold her clothes for drugs while we were at one of the rallies. And she said, you saw me, and I graduated from high school, I graduated from college, I'm married, and I had a life I couldn't see. I spent most of that weekend in the bathroom with her crying because nobody had ever shown her that type of love. I want you to know that you have the ability to take another soul. And as we know, I'm one. We can take all the things that we know they need to change and dump them all and choose to see one. I believe humanity is here to open its eyes to recognizing we are one and we are love. Thank you. Thank you. We're blessed. Thank you, God. We are so blessed. We're going to receive our tithes and our love offerings, and I know that we have a new number. For those of you who are giving online, somewhere here, I know we have a new number, and I will get it for you. It is... it'll be on the screen in just a moment. We're going to receive these tithes and love offerings. There's several different ways that you can share your gift. Mine is, I do it ongoing, so it just continues to do it itself. So I use one of these because that way I don't have to write on my checks. I now have 50% less checks just by not doing this. But also I know that if I'm not here, that money comes into this community and continues to support it. So the number is 833-814-3477, and you can text Unity of Portland, all lowercase to that, and what a blessing that is. You can also go online or leave a check. There's envelopes here. You can send one in. We're so grateful for our community and for the giving that has continued to go on, and we are very blessed by that. So as we hold our gifts or hold in our heart the recognition that divine love is the one energy in the universe. And it's always accessible to us. It's always available. It's the soul energy of the universe, and it's there. So as we say, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Let's hold that. We're going to say it again, and I want it to be an affirmation, a making firm of the truth of this. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we are so blessed, for we are that light and that love and that connection of the universe.
I live and move and have my being in the life of the divine. I live and move and have my being in the life of the divine. Spirit never doubts me, is never troubled or afraid. And if I stop and listen, I will hear it gently say, oh my child, you live and move and have all being in the life of the divine. You live and move and have all being in the life of the divine. If I'm feeling distant,
If I feel I've lost my way,
it's a time to reach out.
time to open up and say,
Oh my child, I live and move and have my being in the life of the divine. I live and move and have my being in the life of the divine. And it's the oneness that I see, the oneness that I see, embracing unity. Let the mystery unfold, the mystery In the life of the divine, I live and move and have my being. In the life of the divine, I live and move and have my being. In the life of the divine, the life of the divine, the life of the divine, life of the divine.
And we do just that. Thank you, thank you. And we just take this moment. We're going to just stop. And Susan Perry, we're so happy you're here. And right now, we just surround you. We're going to say the prayer of protection with Susan right now. Susan, the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. We know you, we love you, and we know that you live and move and have your being within God. Blessings. And we have the opportunity now we are going to stand and sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth. All of us are a part of that light.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Oh, yes, we have come to be one and see one. And we know that for all of us, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We are so, so blessed, and all is well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this life journey that we all travel. We invite those of you who'd like to stay. We are just going to say thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is. And thank you to our wonderful musicians.
I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that Spirit is all, I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. When I choose last time, when I choose to remember